We'll make you a movie star, Darcy. Where is Jay this morning?
Up there on the fold away thing.
How do you rate a bed all by yourself there, Rastafarian freak? Huh? Do you hear me, boy? Let's get out of bed and start boning your boards.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how to bone your board. I can't tell you how to bone your board. Bone is a good bone. A bad bone is a good bone.
I'm gonna rock the jungle off the stove. You better shut up, homie. See, I'm rapping this crazy. I know that. Don't give me no style. That wasn't even that cool.
In 1987, I had just graduated from high school and I was up on the Timberline Glacier, and Matt and Mike and Pete and all the old original GNU guys were there testing boards. And those guys saw me riding down the glacier.
I just came down the hugest wave. It was like Waimea Bay. The water, you could almost hear the ocean crashing.
We met in the lift line, and there were no snowboarders, so they were like, "Whoa, you can ride a snowboard." And I'm like, "Whoa, you can ride a snowboard." So we became friends, and they actually gave me a board that day and said, "Come ride with us. We're making these boards in Seattle, GNUs." It's hard to believe that 25 years ago, Matt Cummins and I were the original Lib Tech team riders that showed up in Vegas at the SIA trade show with our funny boards, Lib Technologies.
Hi, this is Matt Cummins. We're here in one of the offices at One Ball J. So I've been collecting snowboards and making snowboards and riding snowboards since the early 80s. Around 87, I met Mike and Pete. My parents always let us build ramps in our field at the house, so everything was from skateboarding. And so all the skateboards had a nose and a tail, and you could do tricks on your tail and tricks on your nose. So that's what I wanted in my snowboards. And Mike and Pete, they listened and they're like, "Yeah, we can put a tail on them." And so these are basically twin tip boards, right? Yeah. And the stances, the whole patterns are relatively centered, and that's pretty early on. And I know Barfoot was doing something, but a lot of them had noses that they're pushing 20 inches are really big. But these boards are just kind of pure freestyle boards that you could still ride powder in. And, the whole riding the half pipe like a skateboard was kind of a new thing, and I don't know what other companies were doing or what a lot of other riders were doing, but I know that these guys were some of the first for sure. So there's a bunch of politics that went on with GNU. They had a distributor that ended up screwing them really bad, and they basically, GNU went away for, I don't know the exact reasons, but Mike and Pete, they started Lib Tech. They basically took kind of this construction, and then they started putting Lib Tech tops on them. And I believe this is like, "Hey, Matt, we're gonna start a new company." And, and this is the graphic that they like. There was a screen printer guy named Mark who was really into the Grateful Dead stuff, and he gave him this art, and at the time it was really kind of risky and loud, and there was a lot of debate if they should do it. And they actually, when Lib Tech came out, they had, I don't know, 6 or 8 boards, but all of them had this skeleton on them. And they asked me if I wanted a pro model. So we had done a lot of work on twin tip boards, and they were kind of become pretty popular.
His board was a groundbreaking concept, and it took the balls of Lib Tech to be able to produce it and put it out there. And what it did was, it spearheaded twin tip freestyle snowboarding. It created a genre. To have that kind of a brick in the foundation of snowboarding is truly a special thing, and Matt deserves and is owed every every ounce of that brick, you know, and it's a big one.
This is where things got really cool. They were able to really flip the noses. At that time, jibbing was kind of a new thing, and you just ride everything, rocks and logs and things, and you could do tricks off your tail because you could ollie, and then you could actually slide on it. You know, your board would bend, but you could slide on it. The same with the tail, and so this was the flip noses. I think when Lib Tech really got on the map was when this graphic came out, and I mean, I got some pictures with it. This is Radical Rick, but Jamie Lynn got just tons and tons of shots.
You know, Matt and what he stood for and the way he rode and why he rode Lib Tech made me want to ride and be a part of what he stood for as well. And then throughout the years, having him build such a legacy with his board. With the graciousness and love of the Cummins family and their sponsorship of me in those early days, gave me the opportunity to go to a lot of those early contests and have the opportunity to showcase a passion, you know, that was instrumental and sparked from Matt himself, you know, and he packaged all that awesomeness up, put a nice little bow on it, and handed it right off to me. And for that, man, I can't thank him enough. I owe him everything. From what I've been able to achieve in my career came from Matt Cummins. I don't think he gets enough credit for it, man. And so if this is the opportunity, Matt, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Endo from Japan. Matt Cummins is my best friend in US. He comes to Japan every year, and I go to Washington every year. I'm learning snowboard culture from Matt. He's always funny and not too serious. I like it. Yeah, this is snowboard culture, I think.
Bone your boards, you muffin dogs.
Too many what your mouth is. 2 board quiver.